Hey, what's up? It's Shannon King from iHeart Radio Canada, hanging out with Hozier.
Hey, Shannon.
Welcome back to Oshiega.
Thank you so much.
So what's the crack?
What's the crack? Nothing much. Yeah, well said. You said that so. You said that exactly right. It was just like super throwaway.
When Hozier's coming, you got to be prepared.
Well,
we actually wanted to make sure that your voice was ready for the performance. We were going to get you some banya.
Okay.
But it curdled in the heat.
Okay.
So we have some ishka here if you need it, along with your iced coffee.
Nicely done. I'm impressed.
How is your Gaelic coming along?
My Gaelic is it's actually deteriorating. My Gaelic peaked when I was 17 or 18. I was like one of the few kids they'd send off to debate other schools in the Irish language, which honestly I had no business being on the debating team. You know, I was like trailing behind some other Gaelgors.
And you haven't had time to practice.
I haven't had much time to practice, no, but I maintain a certain level of
and you sing beautifully,
as we say.
You have a gaggle of Irish studies students that are coming today.
No way.
So if you hear them shouting in Gaelic,
yes, okay,
there's going to be a big amount of Irish studies students here today.
Is that true?
Yes, very much so true.
For a fact, okay.
Absolutely.
Cool. I'm delighted.
And I was going to ask you about a full-length Gaelic album, but I don't think you have time for that because we just found out you're dropping a new EP.
Yeah, we're doing one more EP. So a couple more songs. So again, stuff that was like sort of left over from the album process. You know, so much work was kind of created. It was quite intense. Output for that time. So yeah, just a few more songs, which I just would rather have a life, you know, out in the world than live in a vault forever. So
for sure.
So that's coming out in the next couple of weeks.
All the songs that have. Is there still a whole bunch you sit on that you're not going to release?
There probably, yeah. No, and some that just were never finished, or some that were abandoned. There might be, you know, one or two more that are around. Whether they're released or not, I'm not sure.
Okay. So in a couple weeks, the EP's coming out. July, you literally released in the nick of time.
Yes.
Like literally within a day left.
I sort of had to put a snippet of that online. I felt like it would be criminal to wait till August and then you release a song called July.
And the snippet was lovely. Is that your backyard? The flowers are so gorgeous. Where was that?
That is somewhere near where I live. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's just
lovely.
Little wildflower.
And those were your
spot.
Bees featured in the in some of those shots as well.
The bee that you see is a wild bee.
Okay.
That's a bumblebee. So I don't know of anybody who farms those but there's I think for the Too Sweet video we did like a little snippet on TikTok, not the actual video, but like those are my bees. Yeah, I have about 3 or 4 hives.
Okay, well I hope this is not too sweet, but we really wanted you to try some local Montreal honey.
Oh my God.
So definitely compare that. Like, are you making honey at home with your hives and whatnot?
Yeah. So it's sad because I'm away at the moment is where you'd sort of start maybe gathering what we would call the supers at the end of the summer.
Yeah.
So my neighbor and dear friend and is the man who showed me how to do it. I sort of just watched him do it, and I call Quincy Fennelly. Shout out to him, and he's spinning the honey. He just sent me a video the other day of spinning the honey.
So he's taking care of them. Do you ever name any of your bees?
There's
so hard to recognize them all, right?
I did. We had caught a wild hive recently, so there was a swarm.
Okay.
So sometimes the swarm will end up in your garden, you know, and that just happens. And if you leave a hive empty, sometimes the swarm will find its way into it. This is a perfect little nook for them.
Wow.
And so we ended up catching a swarm, which has turned out to be a really, really healthy hive. Like I know this is I'm nerding out.
No, I'm here for it.
And I got that message when I was in Madrid, I think. So I remember asking the crowd to name that queen or name that hive. So I do refer to that hive as the Madrid hive.
And what are we calling fans now? I know Allison was saying we should say dryads. Are we wood nymphs? Like, what are we going by now?
I don't. You know, that's not for me to. That's not for me. But I've seen referring to themselves as dryads.
So look, you've been busy. This is gonna be 2 EPs and an album in just over a year. Are you just feeling like extra inspired right now? Like, what? This is a lot of music. It's not normal. Normally it's a couple years in between.
I went to sniff the honey and
Let's
I sniffed
sniff
the microphone accidentally.
Well, the mic doesn't smell nearly as good as the honey. What's your first impression of the honey? What are you getting off of it?
Mind if I taste it?
No, please.
And
be honest. I really am curious as what you think. It's a local Montreal company.
It's good. No, it's really, really good. It's kind of like round, and it's like not too sweet, I guess. like
at
which
you.
is, and I'm not. That's no pun intended. I'm not like.
Yeah, I'm not
it's
trying to be
like-
clever.
It's really nice. It is
Fantastic,
really, really nice.
fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
Look, I know you've been really busy. I hope you get some lab time when you go back home.
Thanks.
Some time to rest up.
What other words did you learn?
You know what is funny? I'm not going to get too much into it, but I married an
Yeah.
Irishman, and his family went to Trinity College, and we have ancestry that goes back to Wicklow County
Right.
800 years
No
ago.
way.
Yeah, so I
Okay.
mean, it was only natural that I was stoked to whip out some Gaelic for you.
Okay, so you got
Absolutely.
Laba, you got Bon, you down, you got
Yes,
Ishka
and I feel
down.
like an Egypt, but you know,
No.
it is
Oh
what
my
it
God.
is. Listen, we don't have too much time left, but I want 2 truths and 1 lie from Mr. Hozier about your pre-show ritual.
Pre-show ritual.
Yeah, so I'm gonna see if I can figure out which one's the lie.
Okay, so 2 truths and 1 lie.
Take your time. I know you're a thoughtful man.
So I'll sit and play guitar for a little while. Just
Okay.
warm up my fingers, my hands.
Okay.
I will sit with a straw and I'll blow air through a straw
Okay.
for upwards of 20 to 30 or maybe even 40 minutes. And I will also, if there is any sort of, oh yeah, I will just gorge on mushroom supplements.
Gorge on mushroom supplements. I'm
Yeah.
gonna call BS on that one.
That's true.
It's
I'll,
true.
I don't know why, but I've taken to and now it's just psychological, but like there's reishi and cordyceps and bloody turkey tail and something else. in
Wow.
lion's mane. And I'll just be like, no, this is gonna help my concentration.
So we need to know what the lie is
This-
before we let you go.
the lie. Oh no, all of those are true.
What's it was 2
What was
truths
the
and a
first
lie.
What was the first one?
The
Oh, I'm
first
so
one,
sorry.
no, that's okay. The first one was play guitar, and the
Yes.
second one was blow through a straw for 30 minutes.
Oh, you know what? It's kind of a lie that I gorge on them. I mean, I'll just take a few tablets, so it is kind of a lie. You were right. You were
All
right.
right,
But I
all
do
right.
blow it through a straw. I'm so sorry. I forgot the rules.
Do not apologize. It's been a pleasure.
You can tell I
Hozier.
haven't had my supplements yet.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
he needs some
There
more
you go.
lab time. It's
I
been
need more
an
lab
absolute
time, I
pleasure.
do.
Enjoy the honey. We can't wait for the new EP to come out in a few weeks.
you so much.
Andrew,
This
thank
is
you so much.
delish.
And can I stand up next to you just to see if I go up to your belly button? I'm curious how tall you really are. It's true. He is 6'6".
Yeah.
All right. Well, fantastic.
very
Thank you so much.
Great to chat to you.
Yeah, you as well.